going to go over the quiz number 1 FMQs, or frequently missed questions. The first is actually having to do with the idea of a rate. To have a rate, we need to know first the number of events, or actually any kind of characteristic that we're interested in. But then we always divide by some standardized population number. Criminal justice, we're often talking about a crime rate, so we'll go ahead and use that example. But you can plug in anything that you're interested in. Now, why would we use a crime rate? Well, I could take a look, and I'm just making numbers up here. Let's say that Albuquerque's number of violent crime arrests for a given month is, I don't know, let's say 1,300. And in Las Cruces, the number of violent crime arrests is 200. Well, it looks certainly like Las Cruces has a much lower amount of violent crime arrests than Albuquerque. But that's not really a fair comparison, is it? Las Cruces has a much smaller population than Albuquerque. So again, just making something up here, but we're going to go ahead and do this by, say, 10,000, right? In a crime rate that you see in the Uniform Crime Report or on NIBRS, you'll often see per 100,000. But, you know, given that we're looking at a smaller city compared to a mid-sized city, we'll look at per 10,000. That'll be our standardized population here. So in order to determine the rate, we'll do for Albuquerque 1,300 violent crime arrests divided by their population, and let's say it's 590,000. And we'll do the same thing for Las Cruces. Their violent crime arrests 200, and we'll say that their population is, don't get mad at me guys, I get this wrong. Let's say it's 280,000. We do that math to determine how much violent crime there is essentially per person in Albuquerque and Las Cruces, but I said per 10,000. So here are the numbers that we get just taking the violent crime arrests divided by the population. Now we want to know what it is per 10,000. So we can multiply this proportion by 10,000. And so let's see, for this one, it's actually 7.1, but we'll go ahead and say 7.0. And for Albuquerque, get 22. So it's 22 per 10,000 people and 7 per 10,000 people. So whether you're living in Albuquerque or you're living in Las Cruces, we can compare these rates. So you are much more likely to be a victim of crime in Albuquerque, according to my made-up numbers, than you are in Las Cruces. A rate? Well, we use a rate because it allows us to make comparisons despite different population sizes. That allows us to make comparisons over time as well as across geographies. We're going to take a look at how to create a frequency table, and I'm going to show you how to make a frequency table that actually has not only the proportions but also a couple of types of percentages. We'll do a relative percentage and we'll do a cumulative percentage. Let's say we start with homicide, robbery, and aggravated assault numbers, and we are going to look to see what proportion of wherever this is, what proportion of their violent crime is homicide, robbery, or aggravated assault. So the first thing we want to do is get the sum of homicide, robberies, and aggravated assault, because those three measures are going into this violent crime category. Once we add those up, we get a violent crime number of 275. Now, let's go ahead and figure out the proportion that homicide, robbery, and aggravated assault are in the violent crime number, okay? So to do this, we're going to take the part, right? If violent crime is our whole, this is how I like to try to remember it. So if violent crime is our whole, each one of these is a part of the whole, right? Because we summed them to get the whole. So to do the proportion, we're just going to do this. The part divided by the whole. There's an easy way to check yourself. Since I said it was a part divided by a whole, in math, a whole is always equal to 1. So if you sum these proportions, you should get 1 if your proportions are correct. In this class, you've probably taken a class similar to this one, or maybe even 301 before. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure we also understand that this proportion is sometimes, actually often, referred to as the relative frequency. Relative percentage, all we have to do is take this proportion, or this relative frequency, and multiply it by 100. You want to make sure that your relative percentage is correct. You sum these percentages, and you should end up with 100%. The last type of percentage I'm going to show you is the cumulative percentage. And I'm a little worried that we're going to run out of room here. Okay. Now, a cumulative percentage is basically telling us what is the percentage of homicide in this violent crime whole, right? Well, we know that that's 24%. We can just carry that first number over. But what is the cumulative? That should give you a hint. We're adding cumulative percentage of robberies and homicide. Well, to get that number, you're going to add the 42% to the 24%, and we'll get 66%. So 66% of this violent crime is homicide and robberies. And then this number, this final number, will be 100%, because the 275 violent crimes consist of homicide, robbery, and aggravated assault. Hope this helps. Oops, one last thing. If you have, for example, just events, numbers of events, and so let's say it's all violent crimes in a city over a few different years. I'm just going to make things up. This is a very safe city. And you're asked whether or not the rate is increasing or decreasing. Unless you have a population number, you don't have a rate. You just have numbers. And really, it's not helpful to just see numbers. Why? Because the population in this city from 2015 to 2016 could have gone down, or it could have gone up. We don't know. So without the population number, you do not have enough information to discuss a rate. Now, I hope that helps.